Friends, I'm sorry that I'm coming back to you after a long time. I had been traveling since January 10th of this year, and right now I am in Greece, uh, planning to return home on next Wednesday. My apologies for not coming to you regularly, as I thought at least once in a month I will come to you. Today, I will just talk about my position in legislative theatre. As many of you know, that we are uh, performing legislative theatre to address uh, the interstate migration issue. Interstate migration of workers, they need legal support, and that's the reason why we are doing legislative theatre. And you also know that in India is a big country. Legislation is highly centralized. Our local governments, like municipality, panchayats, they have no power to legislate any law. Even the state government has very little power to legislate laws. So therefore, we have to depend on the central government, which is based in Delhi Parliament. For such a big country to attract the parliamentarian uh, is really a problem. But Jalasanskrit, since it is very well-known group, and we have a huge network, and therefore, among the activist movement, among the political people, so therefore, we could have done the legislative theatre earlier in this format, but we didn't do it. Firstly, because when I got to know about legislative theatre, it was 1993 in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. So that time, Augusto Ball, my mentor, my teacher, my philosopher, captain, was in the municipality. He was a Vereador, MP. So he decided to interact with his electorate about legislating laws, and then their recommendations where their amendments were brought in the chamber in the municipality, and then later on few laws, 18, 19, or maybe 20 laws were passed. uh, but I was quite I shouldn't say skeptical, but I had doubts about legislative theatre since then, because first of all, I was thinking, what if Boal was not in the municipality? What if Workers' Party was not in power? So I had a lot of such questions, and in a way, I was thinking that it might strengthen the state instead of questioning them, because state in the form of government might look like very democratic, and they usually allow you to an extent through advocacy, lobbying. These are the very key words in activism nowadays. I never liked these words, though I feel the need to do the advocacy. People do it, it's fine. People do lobbying with MPs, it's fine. But you see, they can, in the name of advocacy, they allow you to go to an extent. It's like you are tying your dogs with dog lace with your door, so the dog can move at a certain area. So it's like that. I will give you the privilege to democratize your right, but to an extent when I will not be threatened. I can pass those laws which really cannot threaten the government or state. I would say government. Uh, I should say state, but you can feel like living in a democratic society. So uh, it is actually nothing but to create a, uh, create a confusion about whether state is an exploitative weapon or not. So that is the reason why I did not like legislative theater from the very beginning. And I articulated it in my magazine called Sanskriti. That time we used to come out with a magazine. I wrote about it. Rather, I felt that we exercised this legislative theater in the sense that the issues of legislation through other ways. Because first of all, I feel theater is not enough. Legislative theater would not have been enough if there was no organization of the Workers' Party in Brazil, for example. So you can have a law, but to exercise, to have the entitlement of the law, you need an organization. And it is not that state, in the name of government, allowed you to genuinely participate in the making of a policy ever. State always allows you to implement the policy they have made. Parliament will make a policy, you will be the implementer. This much you can go. But in the making of policy, the citizens usually, I shouldn't say usually, citizens cannot have any rights in any democracy in the world. So, even in the socialist time, I must say, citizens did not have this right. They were always implementers. So, implementing a policy is called participation by the agencies, but it is not actually a true participation. So, uh, what we did, what we learned, that every time people's movement have changed the scenario, they have got their right through a fight, through a struggle, and mostly non-violent struggle. We, in the beginning, when we Jalasanskrit started, we had a play called Story of the Village, Gayer Pachali. And that play addressed the situation of the agricultural workers in the village. We started performing this play in many villages. How many thousand shows we have performed, I cannot tell you exactly. We don't have the exact data, but it was few thousand shows we did with all our satellite teams for, let's say, 1985 to 2005, 20 years. 20 years we performed this play along with other plays. And first time in 1985, when we started performing this play in village to village, we had only one team. We found people are sporadically taking action. So then we thought, when this sporadic actions happening here and there, we then called a convention. The villagers came, and an organization was formed called Paschim Banga Khet Mojur Samiti, West Bengal Agricultural Workers Union. Janasangskiti was the instrumental. I was one of the founder member, along with two other very prominent leaders. We formed this. And Janasanskriti and that organization was basically the organizations that were our spectators. We decided to address Employment Guarantee Act for the rural workers, because those days the rural workers, they had no work more than 3 months in the village, and they used to migrate in the cities. Interstate migration was not that common those days. Now it is very common. In the last 10 years, interstate migration is very common, but they used to migrate in city. Intercity migration was a regular thing. They said, why don't you address employment guarantee? We need the work in our villages. We will stay on our village. We will work in our villages. Give us employment guarantee act, not scheme. There was already a scheme in Maharashtra, when in Western India, one state. We demanded for the act. 89, we organized Janasanskriti went with Agricultural Workers Union to Delhi by cycle. 55 days it took. And then there was a new government likely to come. We met their leaders. They assured us that if they come to the government, they will legislate this law. We met the President of India, the then President of India, but finally it didn't work. That government didn't pass the law. We continued the struggle. We then collected 100,000 signatures from the villages through our performances of plays addressing Employment Guarantee Act. And these 100,000 signatures, we sent it to the President of India through Governor of West Bengal, and we also submitted that 100,000 signature to the Chief Minister of West Bengal. Jyoti Basu was the Chief Minister from Communist Party of India, Marxist. And nothing was going, but we made it a national issue while going from Kolkata to Delhi. We met many organizations on our way in other states, and they hosted us, they provided us food, they provided us shelter, and they came to the Delhi, and they all became part of this movement. It was a national issue. In 2005, again we went to Delhi. Janasanskriti went to Delhi. Janasanskriti went to Delhi by cycle. And this time it took 38 days. And you can see in 2005, we met the then Labor Minister, Subodh Kant Sohay. And in 2005, Government of India came with a legislation of what is called National Employment Guarantee Act. Now it is Mahatma Gandhi, they have added. Manrega, the act, which provides now 100 days work guarantee in the village. So this is a way. Also, when since we wanted a law, we didn't draft the law. We wanted this law, employment guarantee. We demanded for 365 days. Anyway, you got 100 days. So we demanded the law, addressed the, and our play also highlighted this demand. And we performed the plays, we collected the signature, we organized the people, we formed a national network. So all that contributed, all that actually resulted in a law. So it's not only theater, it's an organization. So acting and activism, you see, unless it is combined, you cannot really make use of the power of the theater. Acting and activism creates power. That is our formula. Acting plus activism is equal to power on power of the people, and that can change the scenario. This is my first video today. I will talk about legislative theatre more in my next video. Please circulate this idea to your network of friends. Today, friends, we need to exchange our ideas. So I am making use of this YouTube video. I have created a channel called Art of Democracy. Please share this to your friends in your network, to the activists, to the actors in Theatre of the Oppressed in particular. I would tell you to discuss this, because we need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk.